All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just to kind of reflect on what we talked about, our WWE NXT review, and now we're going to hop into our AEW Dynamite preview. This is the last stop before Double or Nothing. This is kind of like, your last chance to kind of, make a name for yourself before you get into a highly anticipated match. You can see this whole time with the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Swerve Strickland, getting his butt kicked day in, day out, week after week by the patriarchy. I definitely hope that Swerve Strickland needs to do something tonight on Dynamite to, kind of assert himself as the champion, because he's just been getting lowballed, man. He's been getting he's getting his ass beat. Like, it's no, I can't really put it into simpler terms, or I want to put it into PG. He's getting his butt kicked, like that's PG terms. But wrestling, it's PG-13, baby. I'm just kidding, no. But anyways, but before we move on any further, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link. We get a number of questions from viewers like you that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net with your questions. Just put your questions up on top so I can see it. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Once again, it really does help the show. Leave a positive review here at the GSMC Sports Network. We love peace, love, and positivity all the time, all day, every day. So, again, the link is the GSMCpodcast.net. So, it's going to move on into our AEW Dynamite preview. Let's jump on into it. Like I said, this is the road to Double or Nothing. They are at Mechanics Bank Arena in Bakersfield, California. They're 2.5 hours away from me right now. Wish I was there. Wish I was watching it, but Bakersfield, 2.5 hours is kind of far. I'm just kidding though. Yeah, the AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland will fight Nick Wayne tonight. Nick Wayne, I think ultimately is going to kind of feel the wrath of Swerve. Swerve is, I think he had a squash match a couple of weeks ago. So, I hate squash matches, like I've kind of, talked to you guys about it before. I think Swerve is going to pick up the victory, obviously. But this night, this episode of AEW Dynamite, it needs to be big. It needs to be big for Swerve Strickland. Against the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, his challenger at Double or Nothing for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. He's just been dogging him, man. There's been no, rebuttal. There's been no, backlash, or he's not sticking up for himself. He's just getting his ass kicked. Obviously you thought you kind of had the patriarchy with the Mogul Embassy, with Bryan Cage backing him up, but patriarchy, Christian Cage got to them and they turned their back on us, Swerve. And I don't know. It's going to be big. It's going to be pretty cool. Can't wait to watch it. It's airing right now live on, I believe, TBS. So, yeah. Next, we have Bryan Danielson against the 7-foot tall Santam Singh. Santam Singh is a monster. It's a monster. He's 7 feet tall, 200 and something pounds. But if anybody can do it, it's the dragon. It's the leader of the Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson. So it should be pretty awesome to see what Danielson does tonight against his match with Santam Singh. Obviously, Bryan Danielson needs to build up momentum toward Anarchy in the arena at Double or Nothing. You have the Elite, Kazuchika Okada with the Young Bucks and, Jack Perry. I think right now, Bryan Danielson kind of needs to assert himself as the leader. Like, you have Darby Allin, that's cool. You have FTR, and then you have, yours truly, Bryan Danielson. I feel like he needs to, because the Elite they have all the power right now. They have all the power. They have all the momentum. Mostly because they're the bosses and they got patriarchy, it's on their side and stuff like that. To take out Swerve Strickland after Swerve Strickland said taking out Tony Khan was quote unquote a bitch move by the Elite, which is true. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens tonight. I feel like Bryan Danielson needs to kind of assert himself in that leadership role, because it's not like he was never a leader. It's not like he doesn't have the potential to be the leader, but those guys are going to be looking toward you with your wrestling experience. FTR, they're not the youngest guys, but they're not the oldest guys. Darby Allin's kind of a young dude, but Bryan Danielson's been in the business for probably longer than any of those guys. So, Bryan, you need to step up, play the hero role, kind of, got to organize your Avengers. You got to take down this Elite. this, Thanos army. So it should be interesting to kind of see. Next, we have Kyle O'Reilly against Malachi Black. Kyle O'Reilly has recently kind of been helping out Copeland. Adam Cole. It's kind of crazy how they kind of Adam Copeland. Gotta respect the Canadian boys. O'Reilly obviously has a lot of respect toward Copeland. Uh, you have the House of Black. The House of Black is just Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and now Malachi Black. They've just been having their way with poor Adam Copeland. With the TNT champion, has not really stood a chance. So I think it's important to kind of expose some of the weak sauce of the House of Black. So I want Kyle O'Reilly to win tonight, but it's gonna be hard. It's going to be really, really hard. So, should be interesting. Next, we have the FTW Championship #1 contenders match, triple threat. We have Bryan Keith, the Handsome Devil Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata. This is going to be a great match because I can't wait to see what Shibata and Hook. Obviously, they're friends, they're proteges, they train together, they respect each other. Definitely Taz, part of that group. I would love to kind of say, I would rather kind of have to see them go head to head, but you kind of have that triple threat match for a reason with Bryan Keith. It's for some strange reason, I feel like Chris Jericho is gonna find a way to kind of insert himself into the match and screw over Hook, and and maybe leaving like a match between Shibata and Hook at Double or Nothing, where you have the Chris Jericho defending his title against Bryan Keith, because no matter who wins, you're kind of fighting the learning tree here. You're against Jericho, and you're against Big Bill. So it's kind of like a lose-lose situation here, but of course these guys aren't thinking about it that way. They're like, you know what? I want to make it to the main stage. I want to fight for gold. It does not matter to me. I just want to go out there, prove to people that I'm not just, your average, ordinary, wrestler that you see time and time again on, Dynamite, Collision, or Rampage. So, looking forward to seeing that triple threat match for the FTW #1 contenders match. IWGP champ Jon Moxley, his Double or Nothing opponent Konosuke Takeshita faces Matt Sindel. I think this is kind of building up momentum for Takeshita, because it's right now the wild thing that is Jon Moxley. I feel like he's kind of over right now. He's so over with the fans, with the company. Nobody can really see him dropping his PG championship. So I can see, uh, Takeshita will beat Sindel. So definitely think that's going to play into the momentum that he's hoping to shift forward heading to Double or Nothing. So yeah. The AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm will tag team with Mariah May against the Outcast Saraya and Harley Cameron. Obviously, we kind of see these girls go back and forth in the recent couple of weeks of Dynamite, Collision, and and Rampage. I'm actually excited to watch Saraya. I haven't seen Saraya wrestle in a ring since she was on the WWE, when she kind of came back as like Absolution, but she didn't really spend too much time in the ring. Still kind of nursing that career threatening injury. So honestly, I can't wait to see that match. I can't wait to watch it. It's gonna be dope. Next, we have another preview for the TBS Championship. And I know I say another preview because they kind of went face to face last week. They went face to face last week, which ended with Mercedes Mone, with Willow Nightingale throwing Mercedes through a table. And it's just like, I don't know. It's to the point where I just, we just want to see the match. We just want to see the match. They've been buttering up Mercedes Moné since she came to AEW. She hasn't fought a single match. She's I don't know. It's just I feel like AEW needs to do right by Mercedes Moné, but at the same time, they kind of need to do right by Willow of Nightingale because she's so good. She's so good. She's such an amazing baby face. I don't see her as a heel. Some people don't fit it as a heel, and it'd be ridiculous to kind of see that. Maybe like a shift. Maybe like a shift where Mercedes Moné wins the AEW TBS Championship, but I don't know. I just don't see it happening, and I kind of, I'm kind of crossing my fingers hoping that it does not. We will also see the Unified World Trios champions will make an appearance tonight. And Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay will fight Roderick Strong and Trent Barreto in a tag team match heading toward Double or Nothing. So, this is, like I said before, this is the final step before Las Vegas. So, yeah, hope you guys like my segment. We talked about AEW. We previewed Dynamite. And don't go anywhere because we're going to talk about how Tony Khan explains why he constantly criticizes the WWE in interviews, and in and in social media. So hey, don't go anywhere.